the bank, and then you can mortgage that property what you have purchased with the bank. So even if in some natural cases, if you are not in position to pay that particular loan, then bank can auction that particular property and can recover that money. If that mortgage option was not there, many people would have not would have been in a position to acquire the properties for their livelihood. So you can see that innovation. There are many in the new era of the financial transaction for various retail market. You can see there is a need of such innovation, so that I think you may be experiencing with case of the Amazon and all. They are having various types of such types of processes, innovative processes wherein you can transact and can get delivered various types of products online in a short time. Cultural innovation, civil rights updates, back, because there are many now because of the social media, the thing is security or the what do you call that, privacy of a person is getting disturbed. So you can design a law to protect the civil rights of this personnels across this new type of social medias which are coming up. Or else you may be aware of the various K-pops which are getting popular for various purpose. There are various K-pops which are getting popular, which are influencing the youth of various countries. There is one good example of K-pop culture influencing. This is from Korea, influencing the Vietnamese, and then trying to generate some disturbance in their youth. Or else these are such of the mediums through which they are propagating their advertisements and products. So if you want to protect your community, then you can come out with some civil right or laws which will take care of such thing. And now you may be aware, under legal processes there are new arbitrations which are coming up, arbitration centers through which the legal settlement can be done, and so on. So why we have to talk about innovation? This particular slide talks about why we should think about it. You can see one example here. Just see at the right corner, I have given example of the population density over age, right? Over age, what is the population density? And you can see if in this particular triangle, and then constructive pattern and the stationary pattern. And what you can see, understand from the expansive pattern, that there is a large number of population density in the youth, lower age group, right? While in the constrictive pattern, you can see some control at the mid-age group. That means you are having some control population is there. You are trying to control the population growth. And in the stationary population, the population is stationary over years, over age group. So if you compare this particular expansive, constrictive, and stationary graphs across these three countries, you can see China belongs to a constrictive population, India belongs to the expansive population, and USA is a very stationary population. And that's where the challenge comes. Since we are an expansive population, we have large amount of youth population with us, and we'll have to guide them, channelize them for a betterment of their life, and acquire the human resources or skills which are needed to drive this particular population. If you don't drive them in the particular channel, then possibly they will go in the different directions and will not able to. There will be several unrest in the social life of our communities. Accordingly, the national education policy which is there in place, they have come out with a 2020 policy. They have taken this as one of the challenge. This particular population, and India has to show the leadership, and the global stage. And very well, India is one among the top 5 countries which are seen as a driver for economy. It is ranking 5th position, and very soon it will overcome the other 2 countries which are in forefront. So what we see, if you want to show that global leadership at the global stage, then we should have economic growth, we should be very strong in social justice and equality, and also we should have scientific temper and advancement. If you don't have this, then possibly we'll not able to maintain those top 5 places and will not able to give the leadership to the global stage, which we have the capabilities. And because we are having a large population and a world top democratic country, right? So we'll have to show that particular leadership and rule the world. We are having the highest population of youth people in the world, as I said in the previous slide. And also there are some restrictions from the global education and compliance with the SDG goals. By 2030, we'll have to comply with the most of the SDGs goal which are there for pure water, pure sanitary requirement, and whatever and this thing, what do you call this, pure air, and so many other things. So we'll have to achieve these goals by 2030, especially from the consumption of the energy also for the development. And yesterday or sometime back today, 2 days back, the news was there that we are already we have achieved most of the goals by now, and we are quite forward as compared to the other countries in achieving these goals. So if you see it from the knowledge perspective, we have to engage our young population for unskilled jobs, which will be taken over by the machines. We'll have to generate a large skill workforce. At the same time, we have to meet the world's requirement for energy, water, food, and sanitation, as I said in the previous slide. So now there are various technological advancement, and you may be aware about the Chat GPT, which is making the havoc in the world, right? And various educational institutes are debating on what will be the role of this Chat GPT intelligent machine in our education system, because most of our evaluation systems are based on the assignment and all that. They can be solved by Chat GPT. You people also can try. And machine learning which are coming up. So we'll have to be compatible with all these technologies, and we'll have to update our institutions and youth for this upcoming advancement which are coming up. If you want to give the employment for our youth, then possibly we'll have to come out with a very good pedagogies for education, and which should be in the line of experiential learning, holistic learning, then that you can see integrated learning, inquiry driven learning, and not rut learning. And whenever the student is studying, course should be enjoyable, and that is one reason you can see now the curriculum is getting changed at the undergraduate level and postgraduate level. Already the curriculum is established at postgraduate level, and will be very soon implemented for at various levels from first to the graduation level. Also, curriculum should have basic art, craft, humanities. We should learn about the humanities, because very often I tell we don't know anything about the text which is there in the Sanskrit. So we'll have to explore that and make use of that. And for that, unless the science student understand what are the various types of texts which are there and try to interpret what is the value of that, they will not know the importance of their forefathers and culture and heritage which they are carrying. And also the various other, it should be game oriented, sport oriented, fitness oriented, and so on, so that you are building a good character which will enable them to be ethical and rational, so that they are become a good human being and productive human being. So if you see the wealth of the nation, I will not go into details of that, more of these details. But if you see the classical economics said the wealth of the nation was dependent on the capital and the labor. If you have labor and money, then you can generate a wealth. But which was upgraded in 1957, which says only capital and labor does not help unless you have a technology intervention into this with the capital and labor. Then only you can drive the industries, so that they are coming out with good processes and so on. And subsequently by Romer it was upgraded in 86, which says unless you have a R&D part Only having technology will not help. You have to continuously do the upgradation in the technology factor. Unless you do R&D and upgrade the technology, you are not going to be sustainable, and you will not able to generate wealth. So what we understand, wealth of the nation depends on the R&D factor, how much R&D the country is doing or a community is doing, so as to develop the human capital. And you can understand here the percentage of the R&D expenditure of various countries. You can see Israel is a top, South Korea is a top. That's the reason many of the technologies are coming from South Korea and Israel. You can see Samsung, LG, these are all coming from South Korea. Hyundai, it is coming from South Korea. So, so because they are investing large money into the R&D expenditure, and they are generating wealth for their nation. While India, it is just meager 4.64%. We have large number of teachers with us. Around 15 lakhs of teachers are there in the higher education, and we'll have to mobilize them and channelize them for doing research, R&D, for the 3.885 crore number of students, which are driven by around 40,000 colleges and around 1,000 universities. So we have these parameters with us. Unless we do R&D, invest in innovation, and mobilize the people, we cannot take the top stage in the world. And that is one challenge. And unless that's where we'll have to play with this institute so that they come out with a good R&D investment. So you can see here, if I compare research supported researcher per lakh population in India, it is just 15 number. In China, it is 100 number. In United States, it is 400 odd number. And in Israel, there are 800 per lakh population. So you can imagine, you just compare China and India, we are falling around 6 to 7 factor below China. So you can imagine how much amount we'll have to invest in the R&D in upcoming days. Even if you compare the number of patents, then we are just having 46,000 as compared to USA, which is 6 lakhs, and in China it is 13 lakh patent applications are filed every year. This is and also it's the same story with the publications. So you can understand where we stand with compared to these top 3 economies, the US and China, and we have to compete with them. And unless we we come out with the new ideas and invest in the innovation, it is very difficult for us. For last decade, India is doing a good job. The global innovative index is improving, and we have to maintain that compared to the 130 countries which are listed in this particular slide. And if you see the amount which is spent by various countries in higher education, you can compare India. It is just 7%, while in most of the Canada and all, it is 40%. In the Sweden, it is 25%, and so on. Our investment is very, very small. What we are spending in the higher education. So these are some of the factors we'll have to trigger, and then government has to invest and come out with some channelize this population. So if you see what is the role of India all these years, most of the top innovations of the world, if you see, right from the wheel to the nail to the penicillin to the bulb to the compass to the two-stroke machines to the printer, they were all, I don't know anybody, any one of this can be named from India. Maybe the wheels can be. Unless you go, I think they should be mentioned somewhere in our old text. Now, if you take most of the innovative companies of 2020, 50 most company, you will see Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla, IBM. They are all from US. Dell, Alibaba is from China, LG is from Korea, Siemens is from Germany, Toyota is from, I think, Japan. I don't see not a single company, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Hyundai, Bosch, we don't see any company here in this list belongs to India. Xiaomi also, which is making a good selling lot many of mobiles here in India, that also belongs to China. Where are we figuring here? And this is a question we'll have to ask ourselves. So, if you see, the what are the types of technology which will be driven in next 5 years? If I have given a comparison here, 2018 and 2025, it says there will be a lot of opportunities in Internet of Things. That means you want to control something sitting at one place, something somewhere. It is like this, I want to control irrigation in my farm by sitting at Goa. I want to irrigate farm in Maharashtra. I can do that through Internet of Things. I can send a message. I can control something. I can open the door. I can close the door, and all that through Internet of Things. There are lot many opportunities which are coming in 5G. There are drone technologies which will be coming up. Drone will be utilized for various deliveries, especially for these retail markets and many other things. Robotics will be also coming up in a big way. Robotics will be delivering services in the various entertainment sectors and hospitality sector. So these are some of the technologies wherein we'll have to harp into, and you'll have to invest into these technologies. So if you want to innovate, you don't want big ideas. If you want simple ideas, also you can come out with innovation. Like for example, you can visit the something called frugal technology innovations, wherein they talk about giving a simple solution for a problem, which is for a given product. So they don't talk about very, very complex designs. No, they talk about very, very simple design. And these types of indigenous entrepreneurs are also being encouraged to develop a simple product. If I show you some picture, you will come to know the importance of that. Here you can see that lady which is producing a this thing, very fine fiber from that bamboo, or else a person who is spraying the what do you call that pesticide, using very, very simple technology, right? And you may be knowing about this Professor Anil Gupta, who is driving this particular frugal innovation in India. And recently there was I put that picture also of one girl from Kerala who has designed the machine which can wash your clothes as well as it can give the exercise for you, right? So with that understanding, I think we come to know why we have to talk about innovation in the country like India, and what is our role. We have to always motivate our students, and wherever we go, we should talk about having innovation and innovative ideas and innovative processes. So the question comes now, if I'm having idea, whether that idea is making sense, then possibly I may be having several ideas with me. The question comes whether anybody has innovated this particular idea. Then we'll have to visit various websites which are available, like for example, intellectual property, India, IPR, patent website, and check whether whatever you're thinking is already developed by someone. I can give you some example and that will make sense for you all. You just visit this website, and then suppose if I want to know what is happening in coconut climbing, you just put a search word. This is a search which I have generated, climbing coconut. You can see so many ideas which are published in the public domain by various innovators comes into picture. And if you click each one of them, and you can understand what type of innovation they have proposed, and accordingly you can see whether your innovation is different to then what they have proposed, and you can compare and then can confirm yourself, yes, what I'm proposing is having some innovation, and I can take up that idea for further development. Like for example, if I show you some example of climbing, you can see very simple example of modifying a stool, right? or else a person sitting in some equipment and he's climbing through some method, or else some climbers like this, what are shown using a wheel-based climbers. So you can understand now, whatever product which I am talking about, is it published by someone or anybody has done any work? From that perspective, you can come out with some modifications or some changes and say that yes, my product is something different. This is the second example. You may be aware, when a person is meet with an accident, very often they are suggested physiotherapy exercise, and in the physiotherapy exercise, exoskeleton is one of the technology which is newly introduced, being used to give the exercise for a subject or who is a patient, wherein they will mount that exoskeleton, and it will give exercise automatically. So I can give example here. You can see in this particular picture, this particular unit can be mounted on a body of a person who needs physiotherapy, and then it will guide that particular subject for his activities for 10 days, 15 days, or so on. So if you want to do something in exoskeleton, then you can understand the various designs which are there in the public domain, and you can come out with some your own modifications and can propose that particular idea. If I talk about the chemistry corrosion, then also I can find out who has done what, in what area, which year, and all that. And then I can come out with some better anti-corrosive substance or whatever method, or what you call this coating, which can help me in the proposing that idea and generating money. So you can see new types of formulas can be proposed, which can give the less corrosion over years. All these studies are available on the Indian Patent Works website. If you want to check for the outside jurisdiction of India, also you can do that in the other countries' jurisdiction. So what is that? Given any area, you can do that. Vegetable cutter is a simple example I can demonstrate. If you want to understand what are the types of vegetable cutter which are proposed, you can see this example. And I think many times you are doing this in the home, right? Various types of vegetable cutter, and they have proposed this design, and you can see whether whatever you are thinking is the same as what is being proposed. Then you'll have to think of something else. Here it is talking about unmanned robot. Unmanned robot means a climber. You can see several designs right here. And because I'm talking about this example because we were doing this particular case study. So this way you can do the exercise. You can see several unmanned robots which are there in the public domain, which are already designed by various researchers. So here there are manned robot. That is all about the patent or a new design which you are thinking about, new idea which you are thinking about, and whether it is already published and people have done what level of work. And then you can confirm yourself whether you are matching with them or not. And if not, then you can modify these designs and propose something new. Unless you do this exercise, you will not know what is in and around. So also, if you talk about the patent, then various designs like this, trademark like shoe, Nike, for example. I was talking about that shoe signal, right? Correct symbol, which is used by Nike. So these are some of the trademarks symbols which are used. Anybody can give the example of trademark existing in Goa? Anybody? For that matter, any trademark is there in any Goa related thing? Tourism is there, trademark? Anyone? No response? There is no response from anyone. Dr. Sawant? There is no example of trademark from India? Forget about Goa. So anyway, so that way we can understand so if you want to talk about the copyright, then these are some of the services which can be given. Industry designs can be also. Now you can see one architecture which is the open sky architecture. If you want to have a big area without a pillars, then such types of architectures can be proposed. You can see it in the case of the Atal Setu or the new bridge which is constructed right in the on the Zuari bridge. The types of design, modular designs which are coming out. So if you want to now, once you finalize the innovative design, and if you come to know that it is patentable, then you have to understand what are the different fees which are chargeable, for various purpose. And here are some fees which I have mentioned, right from application filing, which is around 1,600 or so, and then the examination fee, because once you file your patent application, after some 6 months or 2 years, they will examine that application, will be examined, and the review comments will come to you, why it is not the same as that patent which is already published, and so many other comments will come. So then uh, you'll have to give the examination fees for that particular patent which you are filing. If you are filing examination report, and then once you are granted, then you have to pay nominal amount, and then you have to maintain that patent for years, years to come. And also from the trademark perspective, I think this particular this thing will be shared with you all, so you can understand what are the trademark fees for India. Or also there are something called geographic indicator IPRs, GI they are known as. So in the similar line of the trademark, the rates for the GI will be there if you want to file an application for the idea what you are having. So I will just show you the glimpse of this, how the provisional application look like. When you are having an idea, maybe you have not come out with a prototype, but still you can file that application as a provisional application instead of giving a final application. So suppose you are having an idea today and you are afraid that idea will be copied by someone, you can immediately file a provisional application in the Indian Patent Office or Patent Office, wherever the IPR are protected. And there are some forms like what I have mentioned here, where you have to give the details about what is that you are proposing, and what are the what do you call that, what are your claims of the proposition what you are making. And after 6 months, you are given 6 months to file a final specification. Again, you have to give the final specification in the form 1 and form 2. Once that particular exercise is done, then the examination report will be coming maybe after 6 months or 2 years, because that depends on whether you are filing that patent as a individual, then it will come after 6 months. If you are filing as an institute, then it will come after 2 years. So the report will come to you, then you have to understand that report and give the review comment, satisfy the reviewers for how your specifications are different as compared to the other which are mentioned. And then you have to give the comparative statement or comparison among various comments which are given by the reviewer, and satisfy them to claim that your idea is different to what is compared with the other this thing. I have some format to show, but I think if anybody is interested, I can discuss with them in the closed meeting. So that was all about the innovation and how to confirm that your innovation is something special after comparing it over various innovations which are filed in the public domain, and then how to frame the your what do you call this application, what are the fees involved, and what do you mean by provisional application, what do you mean by final specification, and what do you mean by examination report. And after, once the examination report is accepted by the IPR agency, then you are granted a patent. Otherwise, that patent will be waiting for award. So now your patent is granted, let us say. Once the patent is granted, We'll have to go for the, that means your idea is protected. Okay, now we'll have to talk about how to take it for the product level, or so for that we'll try to understand what are the different levels which are proposed in the public domain worldwide. They are known as technology readiness level. If you go through this particular pictures which are given, which very clearly state, so 1 to 3 stage, if you refer this particular graph, so 1 to 3 talks about investing in the research of the whatever technology you are proposing, and then having the experimental proof that yes, it is working, and that is all about at the lower level, which is happening at the research level. Once you are satisfied with this, then you are conferring the technology in the lab for multiple time. Yes, it is working. You can talk about, if you are designing a product, then you can talk about the several multiple trials which will guarantee that repeatability test is confirmed. And then you can talk about demonstrating in the different environment. Like for example, we can say here whether your product which is there can work in the extreme temperature worldwide. It may work in the very nominal temperature, but the situation like say Antarctica, wherein the temperatures are minus 70 degrees and so on, then whether the product what you are developing will work in various conditions, all that has to be that particular prototype, you have to develop those features, and that's where the 4 5 6 level comes into picture. Whatever is mentioned here, technology validation in relevant environment, technology validation in the lab for multiple trial, technology demonstration in the relevant environment. Like for example, I will give you some example of the coconut climbing machine. We'll have to test that machine for various types of environment and various types of condition of the trunk of the tree, right? So whether technology which I have developed will work for various conditions. So that talks about the development of the prototype for various conditions and many various trials. Once that is satisfied, that means your technology is now ready for scalability and selling across the for utility. That's where you have to see whether the technology what you are proposing has a marketability is there or not, whether the anybody is interested in investing in the proposed technology which I have given. And that's where you have to talk about the deployment, wherein the 7 8 9 technology readiness level comes into picture, wherein you have to talk to various conferences, talk to various industries, and see whether your prototype can be taken up for the scaling and production, whether you can sell that particular product for for the development. That's where the 7 8 9 technology readiness level comes into picture, and I have demonstrated that in the various format which are given here. So research, deployment, and development and deployment. So each one of these stages can have 3 sub stages. And research means you are first developing the prototype. Development means you are talking about the testing it for multiple trials and multiple environments and multiple case studies, and checking whether you are taking it to the industry pilot level, whether for scalability. And once that is tested, then you can take it for a deployment. Most of the research which are happening in the various institutes national level, they are up to the research level only. At the max they can go up to the development level, but taking it to the deployment level, to the mass production and so on, is a big challenge. So I will give one example of our proposed product which we have given, and wherein yes, wherein we contested. You can see here. This is a flying cocoa machine which we propose, and this is a upgradation version for the existing design what we were having. We are having 2 types of designs, proposed design, for which we have filed a patent. One is a crawling based coconut climbing machine, and second is a flying based coconut climbing machine. What you can see here is a flying based coconut climbing machine. it can fly. And where are the application? You can see there are farms which are having multi crops or dual crops, wherein the pepper this thing will be there. What do you call this? Pepper vegetation will be there on the crown, the trunk of the coconut tree, and you cannot make use of crawling type of robots here, which will crawl on the trunk, or else men cannot climb. Manual climbing cannot be done here by humans. So you require a different type of solution, and that's where we propose this particular solution. And from ICR, we got the first place for this. So these are our initial designs, which are crawling based. You can see how they are doing, how they are cutting. In the first picture, you can see the machine is crawling and climbing the coconut machine. Then I was talking about the multi-environment, multi-trial. This is the second stage, wherein we are testing the machine with the various weights, whether it's robust for climbing and declimbing. You can see this machine can climb for a very university, which is the US patent, wherein they have claimed that they have designed a automated drone for harvester. But we found that they are using a laser beam, and it is not a solution for a coconut, because laser beam can generate a fire in the crown of the coconut, and it may be a problem. So that's the reason we propose a new machine, which is somewhat like this. You can see that I think the video is visible. Somebody can respond me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can see.
It is visible.
Yes, sir.
So this is the way all the parts are assembled, and you can see we have animated that because this is a design which we have claimed, and you required investment for development. We have written proposal to several, I think 5-6 funding agencies, but no one is getting convinced. Maybe we'll have to wait and go on trying. So you can see it's a drone which is unfolding its blades. Now for flying, it is becoming ready for flying. Now you can see it will start flying. And after reaching to the crown, it will hover there in that position. And then after hovering, it will hold the crown by something called a gripper. After holding the crown at the neck, it will unfold the blades, because the bunch of the nut can fall on the blades and it may damage. So it will now unfold the blades, propellers, and then it will trigger its robotic arm, which is mounted, and it will cut that particular bunch. We have demonstrated in the crawling method how it can cut the branch. The same method will be used here. And we can say for this design, they awarded the first place. In fact, this design is a collaborative efforts with the ICR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research from Old Goa, and Goa University, and the scientists from there, we collaborated and proposed this design. So that is all about the various aspect of that flying cocoa board. So you can see we have the design is being upgraded every tenure, right? We must have started this work somewhere around 10 years back, possibly. We started with the crawling system. Then we found there are some issues. Initially we got funding from ICR, 25 lakhs to design that crawling based system. And then one day we after having multiple discussion over a meeting, that's the reason very often I tell students, always you should discuss with yourself, with your peers and all. You don't know where the idea is, and you stick to that idea. It is something good, then you can develop it. So similarly, we had various discussions, and everybody deliberated, and we came out with this particular flying based machine. And these are some of the design. Then we had to tell the committee, the ICR. Every year they conduct this competition. This year also it is there, and many people are participating. Then we have to justify various things, market and competitive landscape of the project what you are proposing. Then we have to talk about where where it is useful, what is the price, what is the promotion, who will able to promote, how you are going to promote your product, who are the people who will be using that, which are the physical environment in which it will work, and so on. From all this perspective, you have to justify what is the price and what is the operating efficiency of that, how it is comparable with the existing technology. Suppose existing technology, how to spend, suppose say 10 rupees per tree. Then with your technology, whether it will be 50 rupees or 1,000 rupees, it should be cheaper than what is there, right? So all this justification you have to give, and then you have to give the operating efficiency of that in a 8 hours per day, how many trees it will climb and how many trees it will harvest, and so on. So then you have to justify what the various parameters therein. Who will be interested in your product? Here is the efficiency computation what we have done. Operational efficiency somewhere around 5 palm per hour as compared to the, if you compare the manual, with manual it is 5 palm per hour, manual with the appliance it is 8 palm per hour, and our proposed system we can claim it will take minimum 1 minute to harvest the tree. So we are claiming with all battery swap and all this time 15 palm per hour. So, and then we can say per palm it will be 2.7, that is approximately 3 rupees as compared to 40 rupees per palm. You know this cost, right? And how much hectares it can do per day? Somewhere around 0.8 hectares a day it can do. All this calculation you have to give and justify, yes, your product is something competitive from different perspective, whether there is a possibility of scaling that particular product, and so on. They are known as, they asked us to compare Porter 5 forces, industry rivalry. Who are your rivals for this particular product which you are proposing? You have to give justification. For our product, there was no rival. Bargaining power with the supplier. Threat of new entrants, whether your technology will be copied by someone, and whether somebody can copy it easily. So whether that threat is there for your product, bargaining power with the buyer, and so on, so on. And then several other industry related things. We are going from level 6 to 9, 7 to 9. What are the issues which are related with that? How we are going to mobilize and all that. So once you satisfy all that, then the question comes about the commercialization of the lab technologies. I think I should be able to be on time. Commercialization of the lab technologies and tech transfer. Now we have a technology. Now the question is, somebody should buy it, right? Many people came to us to buy this technology. At least we have 5-6 of them. They came forward, but what they found is the initial investment they have to do is very heavy, and that's the reason they are not coming forward. But we are quite confident one day or the other somebody will take this technology. We may not be there at that time. So it is a need of an hour. And the commercialization of the drone technologies, right? So from that perspective, if you see, the question comes whether you can take this particular product to the commercialization. And for tech transfer, either you commercialize yourself or you give that commercialization to someone else. By transferring the technology, you don't develop. So you can sign a tripartite agreement wherein you will say, okay, either I fully transfer this technology to you at one shot, you give us 100 crores. No, sorry, I'm using a very high figure. You give us 10 crore, right, for this technology, and you do whatever you want. That's a one way of transferring technology transfer. Other way of technology transfer is, many times it is preferred, we are transferring you this technology, but every product you make, you have to transfer 5% royalty on that, or 10% royalty. That makes a big this thing, because continuously you will be having. And that way you can transfer the technology. Either direct selling the product technology to the company, or with a royalty clause. So there are two possibilities of doing. So when it comes to the technology transfer, I can give one example here. Yeah, especially I was discussing about robotic technology and drone technology in some previous slides, right? So what are the markets for these technologies, especially robotic technology? You can see that what price they are sold and what is the market in 2018 and 2025, at what pace it is increasing, and who are the players into this. There are who are manufacturing this robot. I don't see anybody in India presently doing this exercise. I sometime back, I think Reliance Industry has taken signed an agreement with some Chinese company for manufacturing of robots, robotic hands. Um, so you can find out from the net. Especially for the drones also, there are now some industries in India who are trying to make the drones. But if you see the drones which are developed by the Volvo company and for Fengton from China, they are some of the, they have reached to very, very high level. They are talking about launching scooters, flying scooters very soon. Maybe after 5-6 years, we'll see these scooters in Goa also, and possibly we'll be also flying on these scooters. Solar photovoltaic. I don't have to tell this to y'all, because if you see this solar photovoltaic, we are most of 80% to 90% we are procuring from the China now. All these panels. And there is a and you know that we are talking about the green energy and green technologies everywhere. Even the government is talking about that. In Goa also they are trying to establish this solar panel based green technology harvesters. So you required large number of panels for that purpose, and it is a recurring requirement over a decades or so. Regularly you have to replace them, and we have to develop this technologies. So coming back to the left to the market, if you want to commercialize that, only thing which can be said is that we'll have to involve in collaborative research and development agreement. There should be entrepreneurial leave programs. I was discussing with Professor Garg. He was telling me likelihood of this entrepreneurial leave program for faculties. I think it is already there in the guidelines. Suppose say any person wants to develop some product and he wants to sit at home and only do that product development. Such types of leaves are also possible in near future. It will be a paid leave, and you can sit and fully focus, because who can think? We are the teachers who can think. I don't think on an average, I'm saying on a higher scale. So if you have to promote them, so even if some out of 15 lakh teacher which have said as per the ICS statistic, even if yearly some 100 people are given this leave and 1-2 ideas come forward, it will be the great contribution for the nation. So we have to seriously implement this particular entrepreneurial leave program for in the higher education institute, and public-private partnership, and so many other things we'll have to mobilize and bring the reforms. And I think Innovative Council of India is doing that job. Visiting scientist program should be there to encourage people to share ideas and learn from each other. I think I can stop here, and if any questions are there, if possible, I can answer. And if you have any question, you can write mail to my email ID. If any discussion is required. So, Dr. Sawant.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a elaborative presentation and very, nice, innovative ideas which are shared. I think if Professor Garg sir agrees,
Thank you,
can we
sir.
ask
Thank you.
few questions? If the
Thank you for accepting our request, because I know you was very busy. It was very difficult to catch hold of you.
No, sir. I'm available for you all. For you,
No,
we'll have to work
thank you for
together.
accepting our
If any
request.
questions, because the
Participants,
presentation.
please ask question. Participants, please ask question.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, as Professor Garg sir said, if we have an idea today, we can just file a provisional application, and then final application we can fill it after 6 months. So, my question is, what if our prototype doesn't get ready within 6 months? So, is there any other option for
No,
that?
prototype need not come forward. See, you may have idea, but you are not confirming it from various perspective, scientific perspective. That time is given for you. There are various ways of filing patent. You are filing for prototype, then you are more confident that patent will be granted. Your confidence level is very high. Now, for example, I have demonstrated one example of flying COCOBOT. We have not developed a prototype, but we have working experience with the drone. We are having working experience with a crawling machine, and we have demonstrated our what is that robotic hand, right, for crawling machine. And so that is a way we have integrated both these technologies and proposed the design. So, hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So you need not always have a prototype to file a patent. It is
Okay,
a
sir.
process or a idea which you can protect from IPR rights. And subsequently, over a period, you can develop a prototype after filing a patent. But if you are having a prototype and test it for different environment, immediately you will get the patent without any examination report. That's the advantage for you.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
Thank you, sir. I'll just
Hello. Hello. Yeah.
indicate that just hold, just hold.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir.